So Penguin Teen challenged me to recap Laia's story in An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night as fast as possible. Are they serious? Do they know how long-winded I am? But okay, let's give it a shot. Here we go. Laia, a scholar, lives with her grandparents and brother Darren. One night, elite martial soldiers called Masks attack her home, killing her grandparents and capturing her brother, who tells her to run! And she does. Desperate to save her brother, Laia tracks down the Resistance, who both of her parents worked with and died for. She finds the Resistance and they offer her a deal. They'll get her brother out of jail, where the Marshals have imprisoned him, if she'll spy on the violent and kind of maniacal Commandant, the woman who runs Blackcliff Academy, where the Masks are trained. Laia becomes a house servant to the Commandant. She makes a friend named Izzy, but is not well liked by Blackcliff's tough and mysterious cook. While she's working away, the trials are taking place at Blackcliff. The trials are a violent and really unpleasant way for the Marshals to figure out who the next Emperor is going to be. Laia manages to sneak some information back to the Resistance, but the Commandant discovers this and punishes her, not by yelling at her or taking away her internet, but by carving a K into her chest, because the Commandant is a horrible person. The wound becomes infected and nearly kills Laia, but then Elias, a mysterious and quite attractive student at Blackcliff, helps her. He seems nice enough, but twist, he's the Commandant's son. Laia continues to spy for the Resistance, delivering messages to them in a sneaky and clandestine fashion. She also meets a martial weapons maker named Spiro Telemann, and then finds out that her brother, Darren, was working for Spiro to create weapons that could help the scholars rise up and fight the Marshals. One night, Laia and Izzy sneak out to meet the Resistance at the Moon Festival. She shares her knowledge with smoldering spy Keenan, who kind of has the hots for her. While Keenan is passing along her messages, Laia has a romantic dance with a foxy stranger, who is revealed to be Elias, who has removed his mask temporarily. But the dance is broken up by a raid from the Masks, and Elias helps both Izzy and Laia return to Blackcliff undetected. Laia starts to see him in a new light. Laia is running out of time to make good on her deal with the Resistance, so she decides to find a passageway that they can use to get into Blackcliff and wreak havoc. But she's caught by Marcus, a sadistic masked trainee, who attacks her. Elias saves Laia, but just barely. Her injuries are life-threatening, so Elias begs his friend Helene, who has supernatural healing powers, to help Laia. Meanwhile, the trials are still taking place, and after the third trial, Elias is rewarded for his victory with a night with Laia. The two share stories of their difficult past, causing them to bond. Aww. And then they share a steamy kiss. In the fourth trial, the Commandant announces that those participating, who include Elias and his friend Helene, must kill Laia to win. Elias instinctively protects Laia, and during the fight it is revealed that the Emperor has been killed, throwing everything into chaos. Laia is double-crossed by the Resistance, who never had access to her brother and were only using her for information. Jerks! Keenan, her contact, is also shocked by the betrayal and sides with Laia. He offers to help her escape Blackcliff. With Elias sentenced to death for saving her, Laia orchestrates his rescue, knowing that he can help her break her brother out of Koff prison. Laia also helps to free Izzy, sending her to an awaiting Keenan. Laia and Elias then flee into the tunnels under the city, with dangerous masks hot on their tails. And that's just Ember. Into Torch we go. In A Torch Against the Night, we pick up with Laia and Elias as they're fleeing the tunnels below the city to escape Blackcliff. After fighting off a group of masks, they finally reach the city walls, where the Commandant is waiting for them. She attacks Elias, but he manages to knock her out, and they escape. Traveling across the desert, Laia and Elias are attacked by wraiths, but after they defeat them, Laia realizes that Elias was poisoned by the Commandant, and his health is failing. Now, Laia must take charge and find a way to procure herbs that will help slow the poison. Laia and Elias travel to an outlaw community called the Roost, where Laia tracks down the potential antidote, but not before she's spotted by mercenaries. She manages to lure them into a trap and kill one, but this first kill weighs heavily on her. Keenan and Izzy manage to track down Laia and Elias and join their mission. Though Keenan and Elias basically want to kill each other, Laia is determined to get to her brother, so they agree to put aside their differences to help her. The group reaches the town of Nur, where they find wanted posters of Laia and Elias everywhere. Realizing that they'll need help if they want to avoid detection, Elias finds an old tribe and calls upon their leader, Afia, to repay him a favor. She agrees and also pulls in Mamie Rila, Elias' adoptive mother from before he was sent to Blackcliff. The tribes create a diversion, and Laia, Elias, and the rest of the crew escape Noor with a tribal caravan as they continue toward Kaf. But then Elias pulls a dumb dude move and leaves in the middle of the night without a word, and Laia is pissed off. She finds comfort and support from Keenan, who holds his promise to get Laia to her brother. Laia is still traveling with the tribal caravan when scholars come upon the camp begging for help, reporting that the martial army is killing scholars across the countryside. When a masked raiding party arrives soon after, Laia hides with some of the refugees and unknowingly taps into a magic that allows her to disappear. It doesn't stop the raid though, and in the ensuing fight, Izzy is killed. Sad. After surviving the raid, Laia and Keenan are left to continue on to Kaf prison on their own. During the days-long trek, they share a romantic night together. Eventually, feeling loved and supported by Keenan, Laia offers him her armlet, which was given to her by her mother. She hopes that it will signify to Keenan that he has a family now. Once the armlet is in Keenan's possession, though, he reveals the truth. He's the Nightbringer, an evil djinn bent on destroying the scholars. Keenan was merely a disguise to gain Laia's trust and secure the armlet, which contains magic that the Nightbringer needs to enact his plan to release the djinn, his brethren, who have been imprisoned for years. Laia is devastated by this betrayal, but she knows she still has a mission to complete. She has to rescue her brother. Now, traveling on her own to Kaf, Laia encounters Helene, but to Laia's surprise, Helene helps her. In return, Laia shares information that Helene ends up finding very, very useful. Laia arrives at Kaf ready to rescue her brother, but unbeknownst to her, Elias is also inside the prison. He had planned to break Darin out on his own, but now he too is trapped inside. From opposite sides of Kaf's gate, Laia and Elias organize a massive escape plan, one that will free Darin as well as hundreds of others of prisoners. They succeed! Yay! Laia, Elias, and the now free but unconscious Darin settle in a cabin safe from their enemies. Elias and Laia finally get to make out, though, well, it's a little complicated. Later that night, Darin awakens and calls to Laia for the first time. And that's where they are as we head into A Reaper at the